Okay. Hey guys, it's Dr. Jen. I'm just trying to get everything set up. I think I might be coordinated tonight. I see you guys coming on. Hey, Instagram, it's good to see y'all. I'm not always going live on Instagram, so I definitely wanted to do that. I'm also live on YouTube. Hey, YouTubers. Hey, Dennis, you're the first person on YouTube to join in. Also, we've got my Facebookers. It is so great to see you guys. Happy Friday evening. As you guys know, or maybe you didn't know, I go live every Monday evening and Friday evening. So this is our routine live. So this is great to see you guys, and I see everybody responding to me. So that must mean that my sound is working, which tends to be an issue that I have on YouTube when I go live. I don't know why, but it is. So that's great. Robin, you're from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I love that. Let's see here. And so, by the way, welcome, guys. We're going to let everybody get on. Oh, my mom's calling. Mom, I gotta call you back. But she's gonna dial back in again because that's my mom. She'd be like, "Why didn't she pick up? That must be a mistake." Watch. Let's see if she does it. Anyway, for those of you on Instagram, if you guys send me questions, you can DM them to me, and I will do my best to answer them. I won't be able to answer them live for Insta, but DM me questions. I will prioritize for on Instagram those who send me badges. So if you send badges, your questions certainly will be prioritized for me to answer. And then on YouTube, you guys are more than welcome to send super chats and super stickers. I prioritize you guys who send those and also give you shout outs. And also on Facebook, those of you who send stars, I will answer your questions first and always appreciate them. You guys are amazing. I'm just sharing this to all my groups. We're going to talk about a topic that I think is I know is really, really important, because I know one of the big things right now is many people, and perhaps many of you, are afraid or worried about side effects or symptoms of the vaccine. You've heard lots of things and you're wondering what's true, what's not. You've seen deaths that have happened and they've coincided when people have gotten the vaccine, and you're like, what's going on? Do I need to be afraid of this? So we're going over some really important safety data today that the CDC has just released about how safe the vaccine has proven to be in the first month of vaccination from December to January. This is actually super, super important. Couple shout outs before I do that, though. You guys see my shirt. For me, for you, for all, I am vaccinated. I got my COVID-19 vaccine. Guys, these shirts are available on my website for purchase, drjencaudle.com/shop. I'm donating a portion, donating a portion of the proceeds to the Red Cross, because they've done so much and continue to do so much during this COVID pandemic, et cetera. And also now with Texas, one of the reasons why I chose that organization to donate proceeds to is Red Cross does a lot of different relief type things, right? So what's going on in Texas, Red Cross, I'm sure, has a hand in that as well. So consider getting your shirt, multiple colors, multiple styles, unisex. This is one that's slouchy, but there's more unisex ones. You name it, drjencaudle.com/shop. Okay. So let's jump right in, because I know that that's probably what you guys are here for and what you want to know. Your big question is the COVID vaccine safe? You want to know, is it safe for me to get it? Is it safe for my family to get it? I am hearing reports of people having side effects after they've gotten. I've heard reports that people have died, and it's happened after they got the vaccine. Is that related? Do I need to be afraid? That is what you are wondering. By the way, guys, I have a group on Facebook called I Got the COVID Vaccine. This group is specifically so that you all can hear from other people, real people, everyday people, not doctor people, right? So, you hear my spiel, but I want you to hear from other people, your neighbors, your friends, your family, people out in the community who are working, et cetera, who are getting the vaccine, a place that's safe to share the excitement about getting the vaccine, but also to ask questions, to talk about side effects that you're having, et cetera. It is a very positive group, and one where we can sort of really be excited about the vaccine. And even if you are not sure you're going to get the vaccine, you can still join the group. We still want you to, because we want you to get your questions answered. So I got the COVID vaccine on Facebook. Sorry for that huge plug, but I wanted to say it because it's turned into this really great resource for a lot of people to talk to one another, saying, hey, where did you get yours at? I got mine here, da, 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 da. Alrighty, so let's go into the CDC report that talks about the safety of the COVID-19 vaccine. This was just released today, and it was talked about during the White House briefing, which was very important. And I was actually very interested in this as well. As you know, I got the Moderna COVID vaccine, and the first shot I had a little bit of muscle pain. Second vaccine, literally, it took me down for, I shouldn't say took me down, but I mean, I definitely had some symptoms for a couple of days after the second dose. Totally resolved after a couple of days, totally good as new, and certainly a lot better than getting COVID. And I would do it again in a heartbeat. But these are things that we want to know about. So here we go. This is according to the CDC. I've got my laptop because I want to read it straight, sort of from the horse's mouth, so to speak, to give you exactly what they're saying. And I'll try to break it down and explain it as I go. The CDC says that within the first month of giving COVID vaccines, that's December to January or so, there were 13.8 million doses of the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines that were given to people. Okay, so that's how many people got vaccinated, which, by the way, is pretty awesome. We can do better, and we are doing better, but it's a lot of people. Okay, I want you to remember that number, because the fact that there were millions of people who got the vaccine, I also want to be reassuring to you. So when you hear what I say, I want you to remember that, hey, gosh, we have millions of people have gotten this vaccine now. I want you to remember that. Okay. Most of those 13.8 million people, 90.9%, had, most reports of symptoms were non-serious. So 90.9% of reports of, side effects, et cetera, were for non-serious side effects. They involved local and systemic symptoms. Things like headache was common, fatigue was common, dizziness was common. And then many of you have gotten the vaccine also know, just as I do, there's also other symptoms that people have had that I certainly had, you might have had too. In addition to those, pain at the injection site where you got the shot. Again, I mentioned fatigue. Sorry, there's something. There we go. Headache. A number of people had headache. Muscle aches and pains. Definitely something I had. And so I'm so sorry. Sorry to be distracting. And we also know that in those who reported symptoms, more people had symptoms after the second dose than they did in the first dose. And that's what happened to me. It also happened to my parents. You guys know I did that video on my parents. They got symptoms after the second dose of their Pfizer vaccine, but they really didn't have them after the first. Same with me. I had Moderna's vaccine. I had symptoms after the second vaccine. I really didn't have them after the first. And that seems to be a common trend, although remember, everybody is different and not everybody will follow this pattern. Okay. Move my blanket out of the shot. There we go. All right. So that's the first thing. Out of 13.8 million doses of the vaccine given, 90.9% of reports of side effects were non-serious events, meaning most people, if they had side effects, had headache, fatigue, dizziness, injection site pain, fatigue, etc. Okay. Now, moving on, let's talk about some of the other things that we have found out from that month. And by the way, that's good. What that means is overwhelmingly, most people, if they had symptoms, had mild to moderate symptoms, non-severe symptoms, right? And that's what you care about. That's what I care about. That's what we all care about, because we want to make sure that this vaccine is safe. So if someone's going to have side effects, right, which, by the way, many vaccines have side effects and give you symptoms, give you a sore arm, it might make you feel a little punky. COVID vaccine is not the only one who does that. If we have side effects, we want them to be non-serious. 90.9% of the reactions that were documented from the first month of giving the vaccine were non-serious. Okay. All righty. So the next thing is, and I'm sorry if this feels like I'm belaboring the points and going slow. I know some of you are like, get to the point. I know, I just want to be very methodical about how I explain this and make sure I get the data right. And I want to make sure that this makes a lot of sense, okay? So the next thing I want you to understand that this report talked about was anaphylaxis. Anaphylaxis are those severe allergic reactions that usually happen relatively quickly after getting a vaccine or coming into contact with something that would give you anaphylaxis, okay? That is a severe allergic reaction, could be potentially life-threatening if someone does not get treated. However, anaphylaxis is highly treatable with the proper medications and precautions taken. Many of you might be worried about allergic reactions. And remember, in the beginning of the COVID pandemic, there was these reports of questions of, did this person who had anaphylaxis or allergic reaction, did it happen because they got the vaccine, okay? So this is what the CDC says from the first month of giving the COVID vaccine. This is 13.8 million doses. It says that reports of anaphylaxis have been observed after both vaccines, the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccine, had been administered. However, the amount, the rate, the number of cases of anaphylaxis, okay, was about 4.5 million. I'm so sorry. I'm kind of nervous about this because it's like so important. And I think this is really important for you to know because so many of you, this is what you worry about. So the occurrence, how often anaphylaxis happened, was 4.5 cases per million doses administered. So I know you might be saying, what does that mean? What is she talking about? 4.5 cases of anaphylaxis per 1 million doses administered was how often anaphylaxis occurred. To understand what that means, however, you have to understand that we have about that same number of cases per doses of other vaccines given. So, for example, with the flu, there's about 1.4 cases per million of anaphylaxis. The pneumonia vaccine, 2.5 cases per million. The shingles vaccine, 9.6 cases per million. In other words, the rates of anaphylaxis after the COVID vaccination is within the range of what we expect for vaccines. That's a long-winded way of saying that. Yes, we have seen anaphylaxis after the COVID vaccine, but does it occur any more or any less than what we see for other vaccines? The answer is no. And that is really good news, okay? That's the second piece of information I want to tell you. So the first is that non-serious side effects were 90% of the side effects that were reported. Excellent, okay? Number two is that the rates of anaphylaxis, these severe allergic reactions, occurred no more frequently than other vaccines that we commonly give. Okay, hang in there with me. Now let's talk about death after the COVID vaccine, because this is the one that really has a lot of you guys and a lot of people in a tailspin, okay? So you've seen the reports and you're wondering, you're saying, oh my gosh, did this person die from getting the COVID vaccine? They died after they got it. So did the vaccine cause them to die? And you know what I've been saying on the news and in my videos is that correlation does not equal causation, which means that just because two events happen next to each other does not prove that one caused the other. So this is what the CDC says about the deaths. In the first month, there were about 113 deaths, reports of death after COVID-19 vaccinations. 2/3 of these deaths occurred amongst long-term care facility residents. That's people who are in nursing homes and things like that. You have to remember that people in nursing homes tend to have more underlying medical conditions, more complicated medical histories, etc., just by virtue of being in a nursing home, etc., and in a long-term care facility. Okay. What the CDC found is that the reported causes of death in long-term care facility residents after COVID vaccine is consistent with all-cause mortality in that population. I know, once again, you're saying, what do you mean? What are you trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that these reports, the rate of deaths after COVID vaccination is no more than what would be expected in life anyway, given the underlying conditions that these particular patients had. They were in long-term care facilities, likely had multiple comorbidities, underlying medical conditions. And the data does not suggest a causal relationship between COVID-19 vaccination and death. What that means is that the data does not suggest that the vaccine caused their death. Very, very, very important, okay? Let's see here. Let me just take a look here because I've got some other... That's for long-term care facility residents. I know you're saying, well, what about the people that were not long-term care facility residents? You just told us that 113 deaths were reported after the vaccine. Okay, so people in long-term care facilities, I can buy that they may have more underlying medical conditions, et cetera. I can buy that. But what about the people that were not in long-term care facilities? What the CDC says about them is that among deaths in people with available death certificate and autopsy information who are not long-term care facility residents, causes of death were consistent with background all-cause mortality and did not indicate any unexpected pattern that might suggest a causal relationship with vaccination. So even for the people that are not in nursing homes or long-term care facilities, those people who died after getting the COVID vaccine, there's nothing in the data to suggest to the CDC that it's the vaccine that caused their death. I hope this is clear. I hope this is making sense. I can't read all the comments because I literally have a million devices going on right now. So please just bear with me. But I hope that this makes a lot of sense. The three main points here, guys, and I'm just going to recap them. Number one is that we gave 13.8 million doses of the COVID vaccine in the first month. So that's a lot of people that have gotten it. I know many of you are wondering and you want to wait and see how other people do. You're like, okay, let me see how Bob and Joe and Jill does. Well, the truth of the matter is there were 13.8 million doses given. There are millions of people who've gotten it, okay? Of the people who reported side effects, 90.9% of those side effects were non-serious. Headache, fatigue, dizziness, arm pain, muscle aches, things like that. Excellent, right? That means, yay, safe. That's good. In addition to that, anaphylaxis, the severe allergic reactions that we worry about that can be deadly, however, can also be treated with the proper medications and proper attention. There was no more cases of anaphylaxis after the COVID-19 vaccine than there have been with other vaccines that we give, such as flu, pneumonia vaccine, shingles vaccine. Excellent. And finally, when it comes to deaths after the COVID vaccine, there is no data right now that the CDC is telling us about that suggests to the CDC that the COVID vaccine has caused deaths that have occurred after the receipt of the vaccine, okay? That they were likely caused by other things. Guys, this is really, really important. I know many of you are worried about the COVID vaccine. The conclusion to this, and if you go online, you Google COVID vaccine safe, you will find this data. You can look at it for yourself. You can read the articles. There are many articles that are summarizing it. But the idea is that we have known that this vaccine is safe and effective. This is data, at least from the first month, that shows us that this is the case. And this is so important. It's important to me as a family doctor who I'm going to be in the office tomorrow morning working, and I'm recommending this vaccine every single day to my patients. I'm signing up patients for it every day. I got the vaccine myself. I had my parents vaccinated. Shoot, I'm selling t-shirts that say, I got vaccinated. By the way, a portion of the proceeds go to the Red Cross, who is helping Texas and helping the COVID pandemic, and so many others. Go to drjencaudle.com/shop. By the way, remember, I have my group on Facebook. Check it out. I got the COVID vaccine. That is a group where you can talk to other people who are getting the vaccine, who have gotten the vaccine. You can hold up your sticker, show us your arm that you got the vaccine in, and we will high five you, which we do. There are posts every single day from people just like you getting their vaccine. So you can talk to other people and find out what it was like. I think it's also important that I say that the vaccine side effects that can happen should not scare you. What would be worse is getting COVID. And those of you who have had COVID, many of you have said the same. Okay, so what's worse is getting COVID. The side effects are temporary, they go away, and we also know that that's your immune system working. Remember, if you don't get the side effects, it doesn't mean that your immune system is not working. Okay, that's important to note. Also remember that getting the COVID vaccine is one of the best things we can do to fight this COVID pandemic. So right now, if you're further on the list down, I want you to be thinking, I do these videos to prepare you so that when it's your time, you are ready to go, so that you don't need to delay because you've done your research, you've read, you've talked to your doctor, you've done all the things you need to do. Guys, also a couple other quick announcements. By the way, thank you for the stars. I so appreciate your stars. You're amazing. Thank you for the super chats and the super stickers on YouTube. And thank you so much for the badges on Instagram. Remember, Instagrammers, I will make sure those of you who send badges, I will answer your questions first because I can't answer them necessarily in real time. So I'm sorry about that. Also, I have my group Healthy Living with Dr. Jen. That's where I post about all sorts of health things on Facebook. So make sure you check that out. And then for those of you who didn't know, I do have subscription groups on Facebook called the Dr. Jen Superstars group. That is subscription. I do a private live every single week for my superstars. Usually I'm drinking wine or I'm cooking dinner, whatever. And we talk, we just shoot the breeze, and we know each other by name. It's a really special group. You also get merchandise discounts. Superstar members and those who are members of my YouTube groups, you get 20% off of merchandise discounts too. So I also have groups on YouTube. Consider joining those for special perks. Get your t-shirts. I think probably on my next live or two, I have to order my own t-shirts, by the way. they're not free to me either. So I've ordered a number of them because actually I like them so much and they're soft and comfy. So I have this one already, which you know how much I love pink. And then I also have one like in a heather gray color, which I wore on my last live, but I ordered two more because I like them so much. I ordered like a royal blue color. I ordered, royal blue, and maybe like a purple color. They come in all sorts of colors. So you'll see me hopefully in another color. Guys, make sure you send your questions my way. I'll do my best to answer them. Make sure you sign up for my free health newsletter, by the way. I have a free health newsletter. You can sign up at drjencaudle.com. That's my website. You get a newsletter every week, and it'll recap the week's videos and all that good stuff. Just remember that we are in this together. We are going to get through this. And first of all, COVID cases are already on the decline, which is a wonderful, beautiful thing. Thank God for that. So I want to make sure that you guys stay safe and get the vaccine as soon as possible. Guys, I love you. It's so great hanging out with you. This is like my favorite time of the week. As you know, I'll be back on Monday. I'm doing COVID videos and health videos every single day. So make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dr. Jen Caudle, or my Facebook page at Dr. Jen Caudle as well to get updates. Okay, that is all for me. I hope that you know the take-home message here is that the COVID vaccine is safe. And we have a month's worth of data, plus all the other data to show that. Guys, get your vaccine when it's time, okay? I love you. Bye.